What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dynasty Warriors 4 Expert Mode. Picking up where we left off last time. Uh, my time as Diao-chan has probably come to an end. Played as her a lot in the Dong Zhuo playthrough anyway. Yuan Shu does still appear. Cool. He gets the Zhang is in this game. I was just talking last episode about how he wasn't in the story. And somebody's probably left a comment like, "Hey, yeah, he's actually in the next level, dude."
Cao Cao, your life ends here.
Cao Cao is not called a hero of chaos for nothing. He will have a plan. Please exercise.
But that's actually cool. I forget. I guess was it the Dong Zhuo version of this mission, which you get after fighting Liu Bei. Is you get Mi Fong in that spot, which is cool. Mi Fong, by the way, was one of my absolute favorite characters as a kid. For some reason, something about his name just stood out to me as super cool. I don't know. Plus, any character that there were two types of characters that stood out to me when I was a little kid playing these games. One, the characters that defected, be it from your side to the enemies or vice versa. I always remembered them. Always. And then, furthermore, was officers that, for some reason, had troops that were a different color than yours. I know that sounds stupid. Let me give you an example. Like Yi Ling, you get Zhu Ron, who, since he's infiltrating, his guard is green if you play as Wu. So, that always stood out to me. Just one of those things, I guess. But, when I played Dynasty Warriors 4 for the first time, and I did the create your own army thing, I would pick, you know, whatever character I felt like playing as at the time. Some of my favorites were Zhao Yun, Lu Bu, Peng Tong, Guan Yu. And you couldn't actually pick your starting officers in that one. In Dynasty Warriors 5, they made it to where you could start with you could pick your general and then I think your main two, or I say your general, your ruler and then your two generals. And then your lieutenants were random, I believe, if you did like the create a faction or whatever. But, in Dynasty Warriors 4, the only person you could pick was your ruler. And your first two generals were random. And I would start over and over again until I got Mi Fong as an officer, just because I liked his name so much. I wanted to have him as one of my guys. Okay, well that was like the lamest story. Anyway, I thought he was cool. Kind of funny that Yong Feng is a um, is the general here, and Gao Chun is his lieutenant. No. So it's been a few weeks now. Everybody who's played Wolong, tell me what you think. I've talked about what I thought extensively at this point. As of yet, I've yet to get a comment on anybody that has played it. I think. I remember. I don't know if it was Try Too Hard or Mike Hansen. Somebody was telling me about how the uh, the well, fuck. Now I remembered it, and I thought I remembered it more fully than I did. If memory recalls, I'll look this shit up here in a second. Don't worry, whoever you are. Uh, if I recall correctly, it was at the. Okay, hold on. Oh, hold on. Hang on here. We're having an interlude. I gotta go back on my comments and see this here. Okay, it was Try Too Hard for Fun. He said nothing about I think I talked about Neo in this episode. I think he's responding to that, if I recall correctly. He says, I am more interested in the Wolong story, but the gameplay does not seem like something I would enjoy. So, and I can definitely see that. It's very stiff just to look at. It's not nearly as smooth as Neo was. For one, really. But it is more interesting. Like, for me personally, I like the story about the same. You know, I like it in Neo, the first game, where you play as William, and he's thrust into the Sekigahara conflict as a complete outsider who really doesn't care about what's going on. It just so happens he fights alongside the Eastern Army. What is essentially happenstance. He's not could give a shit less about Ieyasu Tokugawa or whatever, but it just so happens that Edward Kelly has tricked the Western Army into siding with the demons. And I'm like, I can see that. Okay. In Neo 2, and the whole game takes place over the course of uh, a few months, except for the DLC. The DLC is like over the subsequent 15 years. But Neo 2 literally takes place, I want to say, over 50 to 60 years, something like that. Starts in, let's see, at least 1556, right? Because Dosan Saito's in the game. And you sit and have a conversation with him. So, yeah, at least since 1556. And then it goes all the way past the events of the first game. And the last little bit of it is what was I going to say? The epilogue has William in it from the first game. So, and it kind of has a little bit of everybody. It just feels more shoehorned. I don't know. It's harder to invest in. And Neo, the first game was so smooth and so fun. Uh, and I think that's where a lot of the love went. And I do not mean to besmirch the people of Team Ninja or whatever and say they don't care about their jobs or what they're doing or nothing like that. I'm not trying to imply anything like that at all. But Wo Long, I think, suffered from a few things. One, it was developed in the COVID era. Over a long, disjointed period of time. It took... So, in Neo 2, I guess some of the criticisms of the first game, or maybe a part that they weren't happy with, and this was left over from the original development. Neo was like in development for years and years, and it went through a couple different developers' hands. And so it was, from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, is it was kind of stopped and restarted a couple times. And the whole premise of playing as William Adams was kind of grandfathered in. Now, with that being said, I think that was the absolute best way to go about it. Have an actual main character. Have him form relationships where people comment on things he done or has done, what he looks like, where he's been, his background, all that. Have his position in the world weighted. In Neo 2, you play as the half yokai. And you can make your character look literally any way you want to. You can be man, woman, old, young, long hair, no hair, beard, no beard, eye patch, whatever. But you're voiceless. And people do not comment on your name, what you look like, your place in the world. Your character doesn't comment. Your character doesn't really have any motivations that they voice. You know, it's just an occasional head nod or them looking forlorn and going, you know, for the accomplishments and stuff that they've done. Like, I'm going to go over some Neo 2 spoilers here. If you haven't played it, it's been out a while, I suggest you do it. The gameplay is really fun. The story is not all that great, but that's what I'm about to get into. So, as the protagonist, think about the things that you've done. You join Nobunaga Oda. You kill Yoshimoto Imagawa. You kill Yoshitatsu Saito. You, let's see. Well, whatever. You served Nobunaga for like 20 years. Literally. 2 decades. And accomplished great things the whole time that you worked for him. Literally monumental achievements. Also, spoilers here, you're his brother-in-law. Okay, so, or sister-in-law, I suppose. You could go either way. I forgot. Once again, I played as a dude, so there you go. But you can be his in-law. But it's like you don't even exist. You know, you're just. Well, I guess he does kind of talk to you, but
We must not fall
I don't know. It feels kind of crazy. And in Neo, the first Neo, you do great things too, but it happens over such a short length of time. You know, and the premise of Neo 2 is that Hideyoshi is not one person, but rather a duo of people. But only one of them gets like to be the conqueror of the nation and has all those people that are loyal to him or whatever. Uh, you know, and late in the game when Hideyoshi is your enemy and you fight his forces, at no point are any of them like cognizant of you at all. They're not like, oh hey, there's Hide, you know, the best friend and business partner of my master who I fought alongside with for all those years, whatever. You know, just feels kind of disjointed, I guess. Uh, Wolong is in much the same way. It's so far, you do these great things, and nobody holds you in any regard at all. Not really. Or at least not so far. And once again, they don't address your gender, what you look like, what you've done, what you're trying to do. It's basically just, oh, hey, you're here now. Come do this with me. And then your guy or girl just fucking does it. Like, okay. Call the shots. And at no point, you know, do the people that you work with are like, you know what, you're fucking great. These warlords that you fight alongside, right? Come work with me. You know, permanently. I'll make you, you know, a general in my army, or you know, you could be my bodyguard or my warrior or whatever. Like, oh, there you are. We've got demons to kill, sir. Follow me. That's that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it after having played it quite a bit. Um, I don't ultimately know how far it goes in the story. I don't know if Dong Zhuo is the main uh, bad guy or if it goes beyond him or whatever. Of course, in the very first mission, you see the what they call the evil Taoist or whatever, the dude in the black. It's looks like he'll invite you into his van to go search for his puppy or whatever. Uh, he got beasted.
My destiny has not yet.
Oh, water. That's what you get. You know what? The reason why this guy may have not actually had those items on with the 5th level weapons is they may not stack. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, that's the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Where's OBS at? Can't end this episode even if I want to. It says no, the show must go on. Well, now it's at its end. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. But bye-bye for now.